Hi, this is Gordon Williams with Zion Blacksmith School, and I am going to show you my down and dirty way to make eyeball tools, or they could be even rivet sets. It's about the easiest way I've found. Um, anyway, basically, that's a concave. This probably is not showing really well. It's a half round on that, and it's used to make eyeballs and steers, dragons, cowboys. You can make them different shapes also. We'll go over that later. But basically, it's a convex shape. So we're going to make that, and I'll show you how I do it. All right, I'm going to make an eyeball tool. You should find like a coil spring or a bi-steel S7, H13, but a coil spring, straighten it out, hay rake tine, anything that's got carbon in it will make a better tool. And heat treating process you can find anywhere how to go over that. This, what I'm going to use is just a piece of 3/8 round because that's what I just had over there. And so I went to my drill index and I found a 3/8 bit and I drilled a shallow hole right in this piece of steel. Be any piece of steel. Well, because a drill bit has a point, what I'm going to drop is a ball bearing in there and it'll self-center. Okay, it just finds a center. I want, and we'll do a couple of them here. I dropped the ball bearing in there. You see that? And I want it so just this will go in the steel, just in the steel a little ways on the 3/8 part. I ground this round just barely. Okay? So you see that? I ground a little bit off. And that's because when I go in on the bearing, the steel's got to expand. And if the hole's too deep, your tool gets stuck. If there's not enough room for expansion, that it doesn't go deep enough. So I just ground a little taper on the sander or your angle grinder, doesn't matter, file. And this one actually I could go a little deeper, but I'd like for this 3/8 just to go in the steel. Just in the steel like that and sit on the bearing. Okay? So now I'm going to heat just the end up, and you can do this in your forge. I would put a brick on it. You don't want a real long heat because then when you do it, this will bend more. You don't want it really bend. So just a local heat on the end will do it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that real quick. Just snap that down. I'm going to go ahead and heat this up in the induction because it's quicker. Okay, so I'm hot. And I'm going to come over here. Again, that could have been a little deeper. Go in my hole, hit it, okay? And there's my eyeball, and it's centered. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put the bigger one in. I want a little deeper. So I'm going to take this where it upset off. I'm not going to use the big one first. I just want to show you. Sometimes you want a little bigger one. Okay, make sure that still kind of goes in there. I'm going to take this bearing out and put that 1/4 inch. That was a 3/16, which makes, a lot of eyeballs. I'll drop this 1/4 in, and we'll do it again. Okay, I'm hot. Have it over. So we'll drop it in there, and just give it a tap down. Okay. And you can see right there I have an eyeball. Now, what I would do is go to the sander or the grinder, and I would grind a nice fine edge on this so that it goes in. You're not displacing a bunch of material unless you want that. I can make that a long shape, or I just do it like this. So it would look, when I ground it, so see how that's ground down? I ground all this proud edge till I have a taper. Okay, and we got an eyeball tool and it's centered. That's the best way I found. And then if I want it to be oblong, kind of a oval shape, I could just work it with my hammer on this proud on two sides and make it more oval for a dog. I could pull a point on it for a lizard or a dragon. I can pull a point and make a block to go in. But anyhow, that's your eyeball tool, and then you'd go ahead and heat treat this. Now, you don't want your concavity to be any deeper than half of the ball bearing, even a little less than half. What you'll do is once you sand this off, heat up a piece of steel and check it. If the concave is really deep, you have to drive it in a long way to fill up that void to make it an eyeball shape. If it's kind of half of the circumference or diameter, half of the diameter, it'll fill up quickly and you can push it as deep as you want. So once you get it made, play with it. If you hit it, it just makes a circle because you didn't drive it deep enough to fill it up. Well, if you don't want to keep driving it, sand a little off the face of it and then sharpen it up again, making it kind of the upper half of the convex seems to work really well. All right, there you go. That's an eyeball tool.